Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. It's April 17th, 2025, and the hour here in NorCal is 7:08 a.m. And I want to give you guys all a shout out to all my salespeople, to all that come to my YouTube channel to learn more about final expense telesales. This video is for you. So for all of you guys, that have been asking about my good friend, Jimmy Chan, I was able to get him on this morning to just share with all of you guys just a little bit more of his journey with me. And, I know a lot of you guys have watched the training on, DNC and how to check, the do not call registry. And that video has gotten a lot of views. But more than anything, I've just been very impressed by the amount of people that are fans of my friend Jimmy Chan. And Jimmy, again, welcome. Thank you for joining me this morning. And my goal really is for you to share with everybody that comes to my channel to listen and learn just a little bit more of what to expect here with us. But before I do that, for all of you guys that don't know Jimmy, let me share with you guys his background. So roughly in late 2022, Jimmy reached out to me. And he reached out to me and told me, hey, man, I've been watching your YouTube channel and I'd really like to learn how to sell insurance. And at the time when Jimmy first contacted me, I listened to Jimmy and I thought to myself, Jimmy's accent is pretty heavy. And correct, Jimmy? I told you,
Yes,
Jimmy,
yeah. I actually how I figure out how to contact you was because at the time I don't see any phone number, so I
right.
looked up on TikTok or whatever. So I didn't see any phone number. Like how do I keep in touch or get in contact? So somehow I because it's on TikTok, I'm not sure it's still on there any
Yeah,
longer.
you emailed me. I
Yeah,
got
yeah,
your
and
email.
then say, well, okay, let's find out how this works.
Right. So when Jimmy reached out, he told me he wanted to come and learn how to sell insurance over the telephone. And one of the biggest hurdles that I told Jimmy was that, he had a heavy accent, but I told him this. I said, look, if you show up for training every day, if you follow the scripting system I'm going to show you, if you follow the closing, I guarantee you'll close 20% of these applications the first time that you pick up the phone. And not only that, guys, but at the same time, I was working with 4 other representatives that I was also training roughly around the same time. And again, never judge a book by its cover. So what happened? Jimmy outworked everybody. Jimmy showed up like he said he would. He worked extra hard. He spent the extra hours needed to get his script right, perfect his script. And by doing that, this is over 2 years ago, he was at 20% conversions on the first time that he picked up the phone. Now, again, I always tell people, if Jimmy can do this, you can too. And Jimmy's an example of exactly that. Sometimes people, they're having, challenges or they're nervous about something, especially when you have to come out of pocket to pay for your leads. Because like I've shared with all of you, if you guys are going to come and work with me, you got to be ready to run a business. This is a business. And the first month, you got to have money for your leads, or else we're just fooling each other. And Mr. Jimmy had no problems with that and did that. That was over 3 years ago. And here we are today, still working together, still pushing. and always getting better and better. You know, we always have to better our skill set, train, including myself. But today I wanted to ask Jimmy just a couple questions on, you know, what his experience has been with the training that I provide. And Jimmy, what has that been in your experience? What have you witnessed and experienced in the last 3 years that you've been here with me in terms of the training?
I felt like the training is top notch. It is um obviously there are times that adjustment need to be made and keep getting better. That's thing get evolve, you know,
That's right.
evolving and keep getting better, making more sales
But
and
here's something
better leads too, Yeah.
correct. Our lead quality is a lot better than it was 3 years ago. But here's also something, ladies and gentlemen. When I say that I personally am going to train you, I mean exactly what that says. Not somebody else is going to train you. And in Jimmy's case, he's had countless situations over the years where he's come back to me with questions on this, questions on that. For example, someone doesn't have a bank account, someone's telling you they don't have money. And instead of me just giving theories to Jimmy, we jump on the phone, and in real time, Jimmy's able to see myself go to work. And how has that helped you, Jimmy, as you've been able to witness, you know, when you've had challenges, witness me on the telephone? How has that helped you better your skill?
Yeah, it helps me, tremendously. Um, you even when you are busy, you always make time to, to go over, things that I need to work on, you know, and also I got a chance to listen to a lot of recordings that the sales be made, and then I go over it and study it and keep improving, keep getting better.
That's right. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the things about working with my group is that not only do I listen to your calls in order for me to give you the right coaching and advice to better your skill, but also you're going to be listening to my calls. And that is powerful. I've always said that the most, you know, successful managers I ever met in my life were the ones that were selling alongside their agents. Bottom line, have always been the most successful. And I'm the type of person that if I ask you to do something, that's because I myself am doing it. When people tell me they don't have no money, when people tell me they want to think about it, when people present me with a bunch of objections, I personally will show you how to handle them. And again, that is the best way to train somebody. So, Jimmy, what advice would you have to anybody, Jimmy, that's looking at our platform? Again, they're on the fence. What advice would you give them?
Well, I would say this is one of the better, or if not the best, platform because it give you a different options like the 2 minute buffer, you know, and and the cost wise, probably one of the most cost effective when you compare to the competitors, and the lead qualities are getting better, and when you follow the script, follow the directions, and after a little learning curve, you know, should be you know should be right on track to accomplish the 20% goal.
And guys, 20% is a benchmark. the absolute minimum. 1 out of every 5 of these callers, if you follow this training, are going to convert to an application. So again, if my good friend Jimmy Chan can do this, you can too, if you want to. And Jimmy has been an inspiration to me because I've seen him work hard at it. I've seen him dedicate to it. And I also seen him convert. And that is exciting to see because most of the time we have this image of what a perfect salesperson looks like or sounds like. But the reality is that superstars come in all shapes and sizes. And that is a fact. In my 21-year career, that has been always the fact. You know, at Senior Life for many years, our #1 insurance agent at Senior Life that was kicking everyone's ass was my good friend Javier Ruiz, who, when he started with Senior Life, he was at 63, 64 years of age, and he would write $50,000 every single month for at least 10 years, was #1. So again, it wasn't that 20-year-old full of energy kicking ass. It was Javier Ruiz kicking ass. The person you would never thought would be that superstar. So when you want to accomplish something, you can definitely do it, but you got to put your part. If you show up for the training, you show up for work, there's absolutely no reason you don't find success on our platform. The great thing is our lead quality just keeps getting better and better and better. And the reason that is, for all of you guys asking, one, more and more people than ever before are more comfortable buying insurance over the telephone or using Zoom than ever before. In 2010, when I started selling insurance over the phone, it was a challenge, definitely. But today, 15 years later, it's night and day. On top of that, our lead quality is better because our advertisements have matured. So we have Facebook ads and accounts that are years old, and they got tons of engagement with people that have bought insurance from us, and they're happy and they leave their comments. Well, all of that social reassurance creates trust. And then with the name recognition of Senior Life, it's over. In fact, I was sharing this the other day with the group that out of every 10 phone calls, every single time that I mentioned Senior Life Insurance Company on the conversation, and I mentioned the reference of our television commercial, people recognize exactly who I'm talking about. And that elevates the amount of trust that they have in us as their insurance company. And obviously, if there's a higher level of trust, you're going to sell more insurance because of that reason, compared to the people that are maybe just starting out their Facebook advertisement. And a customer goes on your website or your Facebook page, and they don't know if this is a new company or a trustworthy company. Why? Because they see the engagement. Same thing with branding. So with that said, my friends, I hope you guys, that are on the fence, you make a decision. I can't train everybody, but I do my dead level best to work with people that I can actually work with on a daily basis. And that's what it comes down to. I never take on more people than I could possibly train, because at that point in time, then we would be sacrificing agents because it'd be close to impossible to train everyone the way they need to be. So again, you guys have a great day here Thursday. And if you need leads, give me a call. But more importantly, if you need the training, give me an opportunity. Peace.